Whenever Halloween comes around, I'm always excited about what kind of horror content is coming out. But then I remember that the franchise, Thomas and Friends, itself has a lot of horror theme slash content out there as well. And I went back to watch them and realized that they're honestly some of the best episodes in the entire series. So I thought it would be a neat idea to rank them. I don't see a lot of rankings of Halloween episodes at all, I think. So I think mine might be the first one. Cross our fingers. So when I decided to look back at the series, I counted at least 20 Halloween episodes within the franchise, which are Ghost Train, Thomas Percy and the Dragon, Haunted Henry, Stephanie Gets Lost, Toby's Discovery, Duncan Gets Spooked, Scaredy Entrance, Percy and the Haunted Mine, Bad Day at Castle Lock, Fergus Breaks the Rules, Halloween, The Magic Lamp, Flower Power, Percy and the Monster of Brendam, The Phantom Express, Flatbeds of Fear, Henry in the Dark, Three Steam Engines Gruff, Diesel's Glow Away, and Percy's Scary Tale from the Jack in the Pack. Now, originally, I was going to count Rusty and the Boulder, but last second, I decided not to because I thought the episode was more of an adventure episode more than Halloween-ish. It has Halloween elements, but I don't consider it a Halloween episode overall. Anyways, now that we got that through, let's get into it. Percy and the Monster of Brendam is trash. It's honestly one of the stupidest episodes I've ever seen from the series. But I guess that makes sense, since this episode was released during the Miller era. So the plot of the episode follows Salty telling Percy about the story of the Monster of Brendam. Then Percy gets scared and then tells the other entrants about it. And then they get scared. And it basically follows the Street Strike formula again and again and again and again. And the engines that get scared by the story don't even make sense. Like, why does Edward and Toby, two very wise and old engines, believe Percy's story anyways? If it was someone like Thomas or James, then that would make more sense. Also, are the engines just that stupid and just don't recognize the shapes and noises of these things in the fog?
There he is! It's tall, like a tower!
Or is the writing in this episode just that bad? Anyways, a really bad episode, not worth my time. Moving on. The Flatbeds of Fear is literally the exact same episode as Percy and the Monster of Brendam, but instead of Percy being told the story, it's Thomas. And the rest of the episode basically goes at the same beat as the previous one, even with some of the same characters like Henry. The only thing that makes this episode a bit better is that it loses the three-strike formula, and I like how Emily is included in this episode, and seems to be the only engine with a brain in this one. But this one's basically a repeat of the last one, pretty lazy, and honestly an easy skip. There's not much going on here. The Phantom Express is a pretty mid episode. The episode basically follows the same format as the previous two episodes, where again, for the second time, Percy gets told a scary story, then gets scared and then tells another engine, this time Steven, and then they both get scared, but then they realize it was someone else. Same old. But what makes this episode kind of work is James. I like how James is incorporated in this episode. He seems like how James is supposed to be. I like him. He's funny. And I like how in the end of the episode, James got the shit scared out of him. That was pretty funny. So, better than the last two, but still not that great. I'm sorry guys, but a lot of these CGI Halloween episodes are just not working for me. And a lot of the times the characters are just out of character or really stupid. And Three Steam Engines Gruff is no exception. The plot follows Thomas this time around, where he has to deal with Percy and Toby's fear of crossing the water bridge, something that they've crossed millions of times before in the series. And it's honestly kind of disrespectful seeing Toby, who is supposed to be this old and wise engine, in the state of fear for no reason. Also, how many times are they going to use Percy in these CGI Halloween episodes? Because he's had the exact same arc in the past 4 episodes, and it's getting really boring. The only saving grace from this episode is that Thomas has some sense of brain, formality, he's not stupid, so that's good, And I like Henrietta in this episode. I like how she's characterized. Henrietta's good in this episode. And I also really love the atmosphere towards the end of the episode. The rain and the fog, it's really great. The CGI in this episode is great. Amazing. So it's not that bad. It's not good. A lot of the scenery is really what's pushing it for me. And Thomas. Diesel's Glows Away is a really disappointing episode for me. It was almost there, but it missed the mark. This one is definitely trying much more than the last 4 episodes. But to me, the most frustrating part of this episode is Diesel. So the plot follows Diesel basically being an asshole to Negan and Paxton, and Dom being fed up with his antics. Diesel gets upset about this and eventually finds some glow in the dark paint, hence the title, and tries to scare Nia and Paxton in the middle of the night, and try to make them want him back. So on paper, it does sound promising, and there are some scenes that work. The scene where Diesel tries to scare Nia and Paxton, but just backfire because they're so fucking tired they don't care, that made me laugh out so hard. And I like how towards the end of the episode, Nia and Paxton scare him instead. That was really funny too. But the main problem I have with this episode is Diesel. Instead of being devious and mischievous, he's just acting really mature and kind of an idiot, and that leaves a really sour taste in my mouth. Also, the body jester is so weird. I just can't stand it, and it's kind of the reason why I'm not looking forward for the new series because of the body jester. And I don't know about you guys, but I hate it. This episode has some funny scenes here and there, and it is trying. But if they just used a different character besides Diesel, I would have ranked this a lot higher. It's not bad, it's just not that good though. Bad Day at Castle Lock is a pretty standard Halloween episode. It checks everything off for a Halloween episode. Creepy atmosphere, a scary story, haunting scenery, etc., etc. There's honestly not that much to say about it. Donald and Douglas are the main focus of this episode, and I do think it's cool that they got their own episode during season 7, but to me, I just kind of feel like they're basically the same character now. They have no personality traits that's different that makes them different from each other. They're basically the same now. I do like the production design in this episode. It's pretty great. I love the location design at Castle Lock. The fog towards the end of the episode is really good. So, yeah, I mean, there's not that much to say about it. This one's a pretty average Halloween episode. It's nothing bad, but it's nothing special about it. Moving on. Percy and the Haunted Mine is also another standard Halloween episode. This one follows Percy working in an abandoned mine and being told about the scary gnomes that live there by Donald and Douglas, and finding out the truth about the mine. It's another standard Halloween episode. Again, not that much to say about it. I do really like how the abandoned mine looks. I love the atmosphere. I love the production design. It's pretty great. Also, I like Percy in this episode. Percy's not stupid like in those CGI episodes. He's not a total dumbbat. He actually has some brain in him, and he realizes the gnomes aren't ghosts or like they aren't real. They're just figures. I like that. So it's not bad. Much better than those Percy CGI episodes, that's for sure. But nothing too crazy to write home about. But still, I would say a pretty decent time. Fergus Breaks the Rules is also another pretty standard episode, and there are a lot of these apparently from the episode I watched, at least from season 6 to the hit era. This one centers around Fergus' time where he has to mentor Diesel. Diesel gets fed up with it and tricks Fergus into thinking that the Fat Controller sent him to work in the scrapyard. Thomas is sent to look for him, finds him, and Diesel is the one sent to work at the scrap yards instead. So this episode is pretty basic if you follow the plot, but the reason I put this above the rest of the episode is because of Diesel. I really like how Diesel is incorporated in this episode. He actually feels like how Diesel is supposed to feel like, devious, calculative, and mischievous. And I kind of wish the episode was focused on him instead of Fergus. Fergus as a character, he's fine. Not too crazy, not too boring. He's fine. And some of the set designs are cool. But Diesel is really the one pushing this episode way higher than the rest. It's pretty decent, but I would have liked it if it was more focused on Diesel instead. The The Magic Lamp is shockingly it's not a bad episode. I'm surprised, especially for a hit era episode. I actually like this one a lot, I'm not gonna lie. The episode follows Scar-Lord telling other engines about the story of Proteus and his magic lamp that makes whistles. Peter Sam doesn't believe this, but while he's taking on a goods train at night, he starts thinking that it might be true to the things he sees at night. And soon he realizes that it's just something else and learns to appreciate the story. So this episode does follow the three-strike formula, sadly, but I think what I appreciate about this episode the most is the story of Proteus. I really like the story, and I do think seeing Proteus is pretty cool. I do like the message that you don't need to wish for something, you just need to believe in yourself, and that's pretty sweet. Some of the side signs are cool, like the campfire, and it's pretty cool to see characters like Harold in a hit era episode. And while Peter Sam does feel out of character for not believing the story, I do like that he learns to appreciate the story at the end. So yeah, it's not that bad. Honestly, I would say it's good. It does have some bland writing because of the three-strike formula, but I mean, I still enjoyed it. Percy's Scary Tale is a pretty good episode, not gonna lie. Now this episode's from the Canto, Jack, and the Pack series, so the main focus is around them. The plot focuses on Kelly telling the story of the one-eyed truck to Max Monty, who, unsurprisingly, don't believe it and start making fun of it, until they go out in the night to deliver stone. They see what appears to be the one-eyed truck and gets the shit scared out of them, until they realize it was actually Thomas. The best part of this episode is Jack in the Pack. I just think it's pretty cool that they got their own Halloween episode. Like, that's crazy. And I just love the characters as well. The story of the one-eyed truck is generally, it's really scary. I like the friendship between Percy and Alfie, although it does seem a bit forced. Also, the set design and atmosphere is great. I love the fog. I love the dim lights at the construction sites. When Max and Monty go into night and gets the shit scared out of them, that was funny as shit. And I don't know what to say, man. It's just a really good episode. I can't rank it higher since there are episodes better than this one, but this one's honestly a good time, and I think it's my favorite episode from the Jack and the Pack series. I feel like when people talk about classic Halloween episodes from the franchise, they talk about Ghost Train or like Haunted Henry, episodes like that. And because of that, I feel like Scaredy Engines kind of gets lost in the middle. But to me, that doesn't matter because I love this episode. It's great. It definitely isn't as iconic or memorable as other Halloween episodes, but I think there's one thing that puts it above some other ones is that it's a really good character episode. The plot follows Thomas, Percy, and Doug collecting scrap from the smelter's yards. Thomas makes fun of Percy for being scared. Doug decides to have the Percy's back and convinces Thomas to stay in the smelter yards alone. He does, but then gets the shit scared out of him and hides in the sheds. Percy, not wanting to miss the fireworks, finds Thomas, and Thomas apologizes to him, and they both watch the fireworks together. Now, the best part of this episode is the dynamic between Thomas, Percy, and Doug. I think this is the first time we had these three in an episode as leads together, which is crazy. I love the dynamic between Doug and Percy, something we haven't gotten since I think season 3. I like how Doug stands over Percy and manipulates Thomas. Thomas getting the shit scared out of him is really funny, and I like how the episode ends with Thomas and Percy coming to understand with each other. This episode isn't really that scary. There are some creepy shots here and there, but the episode mostly focuses on the character dynamics, which was a great choice. It's definitely worth a watch. Out of all the CGI Halloween episodes, Henry in the Dark is easily the best one. The plot follows Henry getting a paint job at the Steamworks, but accidentally gets painted in glow-in-the-dark paint and scares the crap out of the other engines, which is really funny. The plot is fairly simple. There's not much going on besides Henry scaring the engines, but that's why I like it. I rank this higher because I love how they characterize Henry. Henry in the CGI series did not have a good rap, at all.
Oh, yes, yes.
And it only got worse after each season to the point where he got written off. But this is a highlight. Henry isn't treated as a goofball or an idiot or always scared. He actually seems smart, and I love that he scares the shit out of the other engines. That's funny to me. So yeah, it's pretty good. I love it. I can't realistically rate it higher because there are better episodes, but this one's it's pretty good. I like it a lot. Flower Power is visually very interesting. I love the atmosphere in this one. I love the lighting, I love the fog, the science, it feels very ghoulish. The plot follows Thomas and Diesel being sent to collect flour. Diesel starts scaring Thomas, but Thomas suddenly gets covered in flour, making him look like a ghost and scaring Diesel, leaving Thomas to make delivery by himself. This one kind of uses the same beats as another Halloween episode. While it's not as good as that episode, it's still very effective. Again, like I said, production is great. The atmosphere is really visually amazing. It does follow the three-strike formula. I mean, this is a hit era episode, so it does have some pretty bland writing, but the atmosphere and production design is really what's putting it up this high. Halloween, the episode, is just a better version of Flower Power. The plot follows Emily and Thomas being sent to the smelter yard to pick up some freight. Ari and Bert start scaring them. Emily gets a tarp stuck on her and freaks out, making her look like a ghost of Thomas, Ari, and Bert, where leads to an awesome chase all the way to Machets. The atmosphere, the set design is really strong. I love the lighting, the sunset, the smelter yards look really intense and scary, the smelters look cool as shit, and the chasing is hella awesome. I just love it. Also, the music is pretty great in this one too, which is a huge compliment because the music in the hit era is kind of mid, but this one's a highlight. So yeah, this one is a really great episode, which is insane since this is a hit era episode and probably the best episode of season 8, which is just a little bit sad. Thomas Percy and the Dragon is a great character episode. It reminds me a lot of Scaredy Engines, but better. The plot follows Thomas Percy recounting the night Percy scared Thomas and tricked him. Percy eventually gets stuck in a siding while Thomas picks up a Chinese papier-mâché dragon and scares the shit out of Percy with it. Eventually, at the end of the episode, Percy realized it was Thomas and they make amends. Now, the best part of this episode is the dynamic between Percy and Thomas. It's a pretty good follow-up to Ghost Train, an episode I love. I like how they recommend at the end. It's just great. Also, it's season 3. I love the set designs, especially the dragon, the docks. Everything in this episode is so pretty. I love it. It's a great episode. Definitely worth the watch. During season 5, we got 4 Halloween episodes, the most of any season, I'm pretty sure. And out of the 4 episodes, Toby's discovery is the weakest. It just doesn't have the same finesse as the other three episodes, and to me, it's the least scariest. But what this episode doesn't have in scare builds in character and discovery. I really love this episode's dynamic between Sir Topham Hatt and Toby. It reminds me a lot of Toby's debut episode, which I love. I love the production design throughout the entire episode, from the castle to the abandoned mine, and I like the idea around Bertram of possibly being a Minnesota engine and creating more lore around the island. I love it. And although this episode doesn't have much scare, it does really have good atmosphere, especially the abandoned mine. So yeah, this one's a great episode. I love it. Stephanie Gets Lost is a great episode. It was sad that this was the last time that the show focused on Stephanie, but he went out with a bang. The plot follows Stephanie being sent to work at the mines with Toby and Mavis at the clay works, not mines. I'm an idiot. After finishing his work, he tries to go home, but is sent towards the wrong line into the scrapyard, where he almost gets grabbed by Ari and Bert, but is eventually saved from Sir Topham Hatt. Now, the first half of the episode, it begins in a pretty standard way, engines working, but the second half of the episode is when it really kicks in. Stephanie going down the track with the trees is really visually striking. I love it. The scrapyard setting is great, and the interior of the scrapyard is really great too. I also really like Ari and Bert in this episode. Although they don't say much, what they do is really impactful by trying to kill Stephanie. And I feel like they would have just been I feel like if they would have been only used in this episode, they would have been more iconic. But sadly, no. Anyways, this is a really great episode that is worth the watch. Now, these next two episodes are a really hard toss-up, but in third place is Haunted Henry. Now, this episode, in my opinion, is almost peak. I love everything about it, which made it really hard to rank here. I love the lighting, I love the production. The scene where Henry is in the forest is really striking and scary. It's amazing. I also really like Henry in this episode. Although the kinder Henry is more, I love the kinder Henry more than the aggressive one. I do love it when he's grumpy and kind of an asshole, and it's just he's really funny in this episode. I like Baldwin's narration in this episode is really funny.
They're on the old line, Henry. Stupid bird.
And I'm not even that big a fan of Alec Baldwin for, many reasons, but he's great in this episode in his narration of Henry. And yeah, I mean, it's just great. I love everything about it. The production design, the visuals, Henry as character, the ending. It's great all around. Duncan gets spooked. What can I even say about it? It's perfect. The plot follows Duncan making fun of Peter Sam for being scared of crossing the bridge. Rusty tells Duncan a story about an engine that fell off it that makes Duncan worry and eventually gets scared by it. The story that Rusty tells is the second best story that has ever been told in a Halloween episode. The scene from the story is generally the engine falling off the bridge, generally amazing. I love it. It's so striking in a visual manner. I love that Duncan gets a shit scared out of him, and I like how the story is left ambiguous. I like how they represented what Duncan saw was possibly real or not. Absolutely amazing. Probably my favorite episode from season 5, but it's not the best Halloween episode out there. This is it. This is the best Halloween episode ever. The first one, Ghost Train. There's one sole reason because of it. The music. Just listen to it. It's absolutely amazing. That music is the best part of this episode. It's so scary, and every time I watch the episode, I get scared because of that music. Also, this episode, it's very interesting. This episode was one of the very early ones, and just the way that they represented it with the visuals, it's absolutely amazing. Everything in this episode is great. The production design, the settings, the lighting, the whole night scene is absolutely incredible. I love it. And it's also pretty funny too, personally scaring the shit out of Thomas. And at the end of the episode, Thomas is so scared. It's really freaking funny. It's great. It's amazing. I love everything about it. It's absolutely perfect. It's peak. And to me, the reason I rank it this high is because of the music. If the other episodes had this kind of music, I would have ranked them probably number 1, tied. But this episode, this music, that one scene with the music at the beginning of the episode, and also throughout too, is great. It genuinely feels like you're actually watching a horror movie and that you're gonna get jump scared. And that's what makes the episode perfect. It feels like you're gonna get scared. The other episodes do have that, but you also know that you're gonna be fine. But this episode makes you feel like something bad's gonna happen to one of the engines. And this is why it's number 1. So that music is the best music, hands down, in the entire series. And I will stand by that. Absolutely amazing. Just watch it. You're gonna love it.